Bill Spires and the shortstop Julio Lugo as they were talking with Jose Lima right before this game started. 2-0, obviously trying to get him into a good positive mindset at the outset of this game, because that's been a big part of it. Last time out, Bill, he seemed to cave in the third inning. He gave up 7 runs in 3 innings, just lost his stuff, lost his command, and was throwing hittable pitches right over the center part of the strike zone. Now it's 3-0 on Johnny Damon.
Well, he's pumped up, Bill. He wants to have a great game to finish this first half. 13 losses in a row. Certainly don't want to go on the All-Star break on another downer.
That's ball 4, a little bit high. Damon takes the stroll. He leads the league in steals.
Damon thought it was a strike.
And he waited a while for that Scott Packard call. Packard is behind the plate. Gary Cederstrom, Dale Scott, Marvin Hudson on the bases. Ray Sanchez bats next. The smooth shortstop with a club record errorless streak of 60 consecutive games. .240 his average, 1 homer and 19 runs batted in for Sanchez. Last night he drove in 2 with a pop fly single to left center in the 7th inning. That made it 4-1. Strike 1 to Sanchez. He's hit safely in 6 of his last 7 starts, hitting .333 in those games.
Bill, the first 2 games of the series, the Royals have gone 3 up and 3 down in the top of the first. Now let's see if Tony Muser might have them running. First time that Damon's been able to get on to lead off a game.
He's not going, and it's taken for strike 2. They lead the league in steals with 67. Damon is the league leader with 23. But Sanchez has the 0-2 count now. Sanchez 2 for 8 in this series, .321 in the month of July with 3 runs batted in. Lugo and Biggio at double play depth as the pitch is low and outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Lima in his career 2-1 against this Kansas City club with an ERA of 3.31. Going back to his days with the Detroit Tigers. And now as he shoots for win number 2 of the year, and his career reflected there in 4 starts, he is 1-13 this season. There's a bullet on 1 hop. Lugo turns it into a double play. Nice way for Lima to come back from a 4-pitch walk to Johnny Damon.
Pitcher's best friend, keep that ball down low in the strike zone, although actually that ball was way up in the strike zone. That was a very hittable pitch, and Sanchez hit it right to Lugo.
Lima has 2 outs, nobody on now, and Mike Sweeney, an all-star at .352, 14 homers, 76 runs batted in. Sweeney takes the breaking pitch for ball 1. Mike had 3 hits last night. He's 4 for 9 in this series. He has the 6th best batting average in the league, and he's 7th in runs batted in. 2nd in the league in hits with 118. A fabulous year for Sweeney. Lima hits the corner to make it 1-1. Sweeney has hit .420 in interleague play this year, 4 for 9 against the Astros. He's driven in 14 runs in 11 interleague games in his career. Well, that's for this year, rather. 2 balls and a strike. He tied a Royals club record for the most runs batted in through the month of June with 74. That mark was set by John Mayberry in 1973.
John Mayberry, former Astro.
Yeah. Big left-handed hitting first baseman. 3 balls and 1 strike. Sweeney was named Royals Player of the Month for the 2nd straight month in June. Jermaine Dye got that award in April, and he's on deck. 2 for 6 against Lima. Ooh, he's out in front, and it's 3-2 now.
So even when he's up in the strike zone like he is, that's such a good changeup, and he disguises it so well. He has great arm motion, and watch how far ahead Sweeney is. But he better get it down a little bit.
Sweeney has started all 85 games. Fly ball left center. Alou breaking in, and it lands in front of him for a 2-out single.
He must have lost that in the lights or something. I don't know what happened.
Fans are booing. Right out in that area where last night there was a 2-run pop fly single by Ray Sanchez.
He's just indecisive, Bill. I don't know if he's very confident. There you see him running finally, but he got such a bad break on the ball. He had, see right there, a couple of halting steps to start with rather than coming in decisively.
Jermaine Dye gets a chance to bat. There's ball one to Dye, another all-star with 22 homers, 65 runs batted in, a .316 average for Jermaine. Dye had a couple of hits last night, including a homer. He's 3 for 8 in this series, and he's driven in 2. Lima misses. It's 2 balls, no strikes. Dye is 9th in the league in total bases. He and Sweeney all-stars for the first time in their careers. Jermaine is 26. And he was second among outfielders in the balloting. Unusual for a Kansas City player who had his first big year last year, and from the smallest market, it's tough for him to get a lot of votes from that area, Bill.
But he got his start on the Superstation.
Yeah, so they know about him in Atlanta. That's ball 4. Another 4-pitch walk, the second of the inning for Lima.
Well, right now Lima's confidence is so shaky that the least little thing can get him out of his rhythm, and Larry Dierker knows it now. I don't know if Lima feels like Alou should have made that play for out number 3, but apparently it has bothered him a little bit, or maybe he just decided to pitch around Dye and not fool with him and come right after Mark Quinn. We'll see.
Well, Quinn parked a 2-run homer into right center field last night. That's ball 1 to Mark, the former Rice star, with 11 homers, 38 runs batted in, and a .268 average. Tony Eusebio goes out. That's 5 straight balls for Lima after the hit by Sweeney.
Last year brimming with confidence at this time of the season, headed for the All-Star game, and now that confidence is so fragile, and that's what Bert Hooten's talking about, working with Lima's focus.
Rolled foul for Rich Dower, the third base coach. Yeah, that's what seemed to be missing in his last start in that 3rd inning. He just seemed to lose his focus. It's easy to make conclusions sitting from high above the field. You really can't say what's going on in the pitcher's mind. Fly ball center field. Hidalgo measuring it. And it's no runs, 1 hit, 2 men stranded for Kansas City. The Astros come up and it's 0-0.
Royals go down in the top of the 1st. Let's set up the starting lineup for the Astros, and it's brought to you by Southwest Airlines. They'll lead it off. Craig Biggio moves into that leadoff role today, followed by Bill Spires. Then it's Bagwell, Berkman, Alou, Hidalgo, Lugo, Eusebio, and Lima, the pitcher. On the mound for the Royals, Jay Whitasick. He is a power pitcher all the way. Fastball in the mid-90s. He has a changeup and a knuckle curve, but the fastball is his bread and butter pitch. Take a look at his numbers. Actually, it was a tough start to the season for Whitasick. He started the year 0-4 with an .846 ERA in 5 starts before they sent him to the bullpen, and he seemed to get himself straightened out.
Craig Biggio gets it started for Houston, swinging at the fastball up and in and fouling it away for strike 1. Biggio begins this game at .252 with 5 homers and 28 runs batted in. He's leading off for only the 2nd time since June 14th. He is 9th in the league in runs scored with 55. Tazic misses. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. Jay, as Bill mentioned, coming off that slow start, and that's the kind of year he had last year. Very poor first half, and then he got it rolling with a 9-12 record overall. 2 balls and a strike.
Yeah, actually, Bill, at the end of last season, he was one of their most effective starters, and he does have 2 complete games this year.
He went 6-6 in the second half last year. He has some life on the fastball. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes to Biggio. Biggio 176 on this homestand.
Whitasick's just about like everybody else, Brownie. You can count him all around the league. If he's getting one of his other pitches over for strikes, he's very effective because that makes his fastball that much better. And that's going to be a tough pitch there. If he's getting that pitch in for strikes, it'll be tough today. Let's go around the horn now, and we'll set up the defense for the Royals. Mike Sweeney will be at first base. Luis Ordaz will be at second. Joe Randa at third. Ray Sanchez now. That's 60 errorless games at shortstop for Sanchez. In the outfield, Mark Quinn in left, Johnny Damon in center, and Jermaine Dye in right. Doing the catching will be Greg Zahn.
Bill Spires is the batter against Watazik, who is facing a third baseman with a .296 batting average. There's ball one to Bill with 1 homer and 20 runs batted in. Bill 1 for 4 in this series, 2 for 12 on the homestand. Those are good numbers for the first half for Bill Spires, who's walked more than he struck out. 2 balls and no strikes. He's been the Astros' top pinch hitter as well. This right-hander, a second-round pick by the Cardinals in '93, traded to Oakland in the Todd Stottlemyre deal in '96. Kansas City dealt for him right before the opener of last year. That's to right center field. Extra bases, maybe 3 for Bill Spires. Johnny Damon gets it back in. Spires headed for third. Here's the relay, and from Ordaz, not in time.
Oh boy, he barely got in there.
A triple, his second of the year. He's been playing with a tender hamstring for a while now, and he really had to stretch it out.
Yeah, Brownie, I'm kind of surprised he went for 3 because of that hamstring problem. You see him stretching now. When he rounded second, it looked like he was carrying a refrigerator on his back. He was really slowing down, and this relay play made it pretty close. Right here, he decides to go for third. Now he's really, you can tell he's really straining a little bit, and he just got into the tag.
That's his second triple of the year. He's there for Jeff Bagwell at third base. There's ball one.
Damon's a speedy center fielder, but probably not one of the greatest arms in the league, and he kind of looped that throw into the relay man. That helped him out a little.
He normally plays left field. Carlos Beltran, the center fielder, injured right now. Infield plays back. This one, well, it's stopped by the umpire. Zahn took off for the backstop, and it had hit the home plate umpire, Scott Packard. Zahn went spinning out of there, but Spires couldn't score.
You know, a couple of times this year we've seen the ball get by the catcher, and it comes back so fast when it hits that wall that you better be careful if you're trying to score from third base. You've got to be able to pick up the ball. No one knew where it was then.
Zahn didn't get anything on it. Didn't even touch it. And he got a major break from the guy behind him. 2 balls and no strikes to Jeff Bagwell. Jeff's on a 9-game hitting streak. Went for a pitch upstairs there. 2-1, but that riding fastball will cause some foul balls like that, some swings and misses. Watazik with good action. The 27-year-old right-hander fires the ball. Opponents are hitting .300 against him this year, but he is now, they think, started to turn the corner. Bagwell hitting .412 during his 9-game hitting streak. He fouls out when Jeff has homered 5 times in his last 7 games. That one makes it up to the seats. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, right now the way Bagwell is swinging the bat, you better get that slider a little lower down in the strike zone or he's going to lose it. Really getting some good cuts, and it all started with that home run he hit to right center field early in the homestand.
Way upstairs, it's 3-2. Lance Berkman on deck. Watazik and Lima each surrendered 7 earned runs in his last start. For Watazik, it was in 4 innings. He allowed 10 hits in that game against Chicago. Got off the hook, and Kansas City rallied to win it 14-10. Bagwell fouls it. The right-hander taking something off that time. Jay from Baltimore. Went to the University of Maryland at Baltimore County, and then another school, community college, and then 6 years in the minor leagues. First big league experience in '96 with Oakland. He was with the A's 96 through '98 before going 9-12 for Kansas City last year with a .557 ERA. Bagwell cranks it. Johnny Damon running into right center. He catches up with it. Spires with the tag. He'll trot home to make it 1-0 Houston. Bagwell gets his 64th run batted in.
Great job of hitting by Jeff Bagwell, and tell you what, Damon can fly. Anybody else out there that might have been able to get in the gap, but a good job by Jeff to wait on the ball. He got a slider to hit. It was up in the strike zone. He just hit it the other way.
Lance Berkman gets his first shot of the day with a .296 average and a 1-0 ball game. Breaking pitch is strike one to Berkman, who has 10 homers, 29 runs batted in. And he's hitting .315 as a left-handed batter with 9 of his 10 home runs from this side of the plate. Lance 2 for 6 in this series with an RBI. No balls and 2 strikes. He's hit .327 in his last 14 starts.
They've really been pitching him outside in this series, and he's just missed going for a couple opposite field home runs. Said he thought he had thought he had 2 home runs last night. He just didn't quite get the ball enough, but he is swinging for that left field fence when they pitch him outside.
2 fly balls to left. His double went to right center last night in the 6th inning, and he scored.
Yeah, when they come inside on him, he's hitting the ball pretty well, so they've just about stayed outside in this entire series.
Last year, Jay Watazik pitched well against the Astros in Kansas City just about a year ago. July 9th against Shane Reynolds. No decision, but he allowed 3 runs in 6 innings. Jeff Bagwell tagged him for a 2-run homer. He strikes out Berkman. His second strikeout ends the 1st inning. The Bill Spires triple turns into a 1-0 Houston lead. You're watching Houston Astros baseball on Fox Sports Net. Welcome back to Enron Field on a warm and muggy Sunday afternoon here in July. Bill Brown, Bill Worrell, and Greg Lucas. Nice and cool inside, and the Astros lead it 1-0 after 1. Joe Randa steps in as the 2nd inning opens with Jose Lima taking a lead to this frame and throwing strike one on Randa. Randa's having quite a first half so far. A .317 average, 8 homers, 53 runs batted in. Jerks one to left, headed for the Crawford boxes, and that'll tie it at 1. Joe Randa bangs number 9 of the year, and Kansas City draws even on the Royals' 91st home run. That's the 27th home run allowed by Lima, and that leads the National League.
Bill, it never had a chance to get in the Crawford boxes. It hit over the Crawford boxes off the wall and bounced back into left field.
Very quickly, Kansas City ties it on the swing of Randa.
Lima going for that major league record of home runs given up.
Bert Blyleven.
Yeah, that's a record I don't think he'd want to have, but.
So the Joker, Joe Randa, unloads, and Greg Zaun bats. Strike one on him. He puts that one in the air behind third base. Spires hustling over near the tarp, and he makes a good catch. He got a nice jump on it. That allowed him time to slow down and turn around for the play. Running pretty well after that triple. That's a good sign because Billy really had to stretch it out. Luis Ordaz the batter now. Lima, of course, has allowed a lot of home runs. Last year he gave up 30, but that was in 246 innings. He's pitched 100 innings this year, and he's given up 27. Ordaz has had a good series. He's 3 for 8, 241 for the season with 5 runs batted in and 58 at bats. Starting all 3 games here. Carlos Fables, coming back from an injured shoulder, is on an injury rehab assignment in the minor leagues right now. Jeff Rabelais got hurt a few days ago. He had been playing a good second base in the absence of Fables. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Another one of those LSU guys. Rabelais.
Yeah.
They're all over the leagues.
They really are. They're well populating the majors. Lima beat Jeff Suppan in Kansas City last July 11th. Biggio heads out into right center field. Berkman in.
Oh, he came a long way.
Made it easily. 2 outs.
Tonight at 10 and 12 on the National Sports Report. Check out Wimbledon men's final. We'll have the final round of the Western Open and Major League Baseball at the break. The National Sports Report tonight at 10 and 12.
Pete Sampras leads 2 sets to 1 over Patrick Rafter. Jay Watazik 0 for 3 as a batter. There's strike 1 to him. Now Lima beat Jeff Suppan last year 7-3 in Kansas City, pitching very well. 0-2. He beat Kansas City and Jose Rosado in Houston in '98 with a shutout, 6-0. That was his first major league shutout. knocked toward shortstop. Lugo charging. And after the solo homer, Lima gets the next 3. It is 1-1. Joe Randa squares it here at Enron Field in the middle of the second.
Astros baseball on Fox Sports Net is brought to you by your Texas Ford dealers. Ford is the best in Texas. By Aflac. Without it, no insurance is complete. And by Geico Direct.
Joe Randa gave them something to crane their necks at when he hit home run number 9. He has 54 runs batted in, and it's a 1-1 ball game. Kansas City going deep for the 4th time in this series. The Astros have hit 4 long balls as well in this interleague series. The Astros have won 6 of their last 7 against the Royals. They will resume interleague play right after the All-Star break, going to Detroit and Cleveland. Jose Lima's in a 1-1 ball game. He's given up 2 hits. He's walked 2. Moises Alou has been ripping the ball. He has really hit well. 14 homers, 46 runs batted in, and a .354 average. That's all in 195 at bats for Mo. Richard Hidalgo's on deck. He went for that, or did he? They appealed it first. Yes, he did.
Yeah, he was guessing fastball on the first pitch and got a slider.
He's hitting .421 on this homestand, 3 for 8 in this series. He had an 8-game hitting streak, hitting .500. That was snapped. Ooh, that's a good-looking breaking ball, but it's called ball 1.
Yeah, I think Packard's got a big strike zone, or a small strike zone here today. It's going to be tough on the pitcher.
Target is low for Zahn. The pitch drops outside. It's 2 balls and a strike. Alou has gone deep in this series. He's hit 4 homers and 10 RBIs in his last 6 games, and those are terrific numbers for the first half of the year, Bill.
He can really hit.
Checks his swing on a high riding fastball, fouling it back. It's 2 balls, 2 strikes. We mentioned Watazik struggling last time out, a no decision against the White Sox, but 2 starts ago against Cleveland, June 26th. He went the distance, winning that one 6-1 on a 4-hitter through 120 pitches. Alou cracks one to left center. Johnny Damon hits straight back. Watch it go over the Conoco pump. That's number 15 of the year. The Astros lead it 2-1.
Bill, it amazes me how pitchers try to throw a 3rd strike fastball by Alou. Haven't they learned anything? I mean, this guy is maybe the best fastball hitter in baseball. He just cranks it.
15 homers and 47 runs batted in. Watch this.
Look at the location coming in on him, and see how he got those hands out, the head of the bat out in front. Boy, can he hit.
And he has really flourished here at Enron Field this year. Richard Hidalgo bats. There's ball 1 to him. That's the 14th homer allowed by Watazik. He's in his 75th inning. Hidalgo has 23 long balls, 61 RBIs, and a .290 batting average. Astros 4th in the league in homers. 1 ball, 1 strike. They've hit 125 as a team, 68 here at home. They just set a club record for allowing home runs at home in a season. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Richard. Many people thought he had all-star numbers. He didn't make it this year. He's 25 years old. Hopefully he will make it very soon. 2-2 the count. Larry Durker and his family leaving tonight. Shane Reynolds on his way to Atlanta for the All-Star game Tuesday night. Roll foul. Still 2 balls and 2 strikes. You just sense, and maybe you make too much out of a thing like the ball being thrown around. Return to Jose Lima right before his first pitch. Lugo yelling at him. Spires yelling at him. How much his teammates are pulling for him to turn this thing around today. A strikeout for Wojtaszek is his third of the day. He has the big sharp breaking ball going.
Well, if you're tired of meeting at the same old place, add some spark to your next meeting. Bring your group to the conference center at Enron Field. It's located on the second and third levels of Union Station. The conference center specializes in making a meeting for 8 to 200 people a unique experience. So call 713-259-8800 to book your special event at Enron Field.
Julio Lugo takes, and it's ball one. The Moises Alou homer traveled 430 feet according to the big board. On the southwestern bell tail of the tape. That was a long ride.
Yes, it was. He hit that. He hit the facing of the wall above that Conoco pump.
He got that run back in a hurry. That's a blast. That's right above the 404 sign. Off the pitcher. That'll be an infield hit for Lugo. Wojtaszek took it on the leg. He was trying to get his glove down. And Lugo, a 264 hitter, bumps it up a notch with that base hit.
Now you see the target by Zahn down in the strike zone and left it up in the strike zone on that breaking pitch. And he paid for it.
Wojtaszek checking on the double play coverage now. Runner at first, one out, and Lugo has 7 steals in 10 tries. Tony Eusebio's the batter. 203 his average. 2 homers, a dozen runs batted in. Tony's had 123 at bats. Lugo may be going here. He does not, and it's strike one. Trying to stay out of a double play would be one reason to go. Mike Cubbage has signs for Eusebio.
Tony always such a great hitter at going to that right side of the infield anyway. His natural swing, and he's got a big gap over there in which to do it.
He lays off. Zahn comes up. 1 ball, 1 strike. Eusebio 0 for 7 on this homestand. The Astros opening day catcher again for the 2nd straight year. He's hitless now in his last 10 at bats. That hole on the right side can work to his favor, as you mentioned, Bill. With Sweeney holding Lugo. Lugo draws the throw.
Remember 5 or 6 years ago, it was always Tony was all hit, no field. They said his big problem was he handling pitchers and calling a game. Does that sound familiar?
Yeah.
Now he's considered a very good handler of pitchers, a good defensive catcher.
1-2. Generally speaking, catchers develop probably the latest of any other player,
Right.
don't you think?
Yeah, I think so. There's just so much to do. You're the center of that entire team out there. You're calling the signs. You have a lot to do with the defense, the way the players are positioned, and you're a psychologist with that pitcher too, especially with Lima.
Runner goes with a good jump. Zahn's throw not nearly in time. It hits Lugo. He'll go to third. It was a strikeout on Eusebio for the 2nd out. Lugo gets the steal, and then Zahn's throw hits him. That's the 8th stolen base, and it'll be an error on the catcher as well.
Boy, as you called it, Bill, a great jump by Lugo. I don't think Zahn had any chance at all. And then, of course, when the ball hit him, he was able to move to third. And now, with the infield playing, well, there was a strikeout, so there are 2 outs. So let's see if Lima can get one through there.
4th strikeout for Wojtaszek. Lima has 1 RBI this year, 2 hits and 31 at bats. He dribbled this one towards Sweeney. Sweeney there for out number 3. The Astros on the Alou homer get a run on 2 hits with an error and a man stranded at third. After 2, it's 2-1 Houston.
Astros lead it 2-1 as we go to the top of the third. Coming up tonight, it's the 11 p.m. Regional Sports Report. 30 minutes of nightly sports news completely dedicated to the home teams throughout the Southwest. For extended regional highlights and in-depth interviews, catch the 11 p.m. Regional Sports Report Southwest Edition. That's tonight only on Fox Sports Net.
There'll be a lot to watch tonight. Busy weekend in sports.
I like that helmet.
Yeah, that's neat, isn't it?
Yeah.
Jose Lima leads it 2-1. Top of the order faces him in the 3rd inning. Johnny Damon. Damon looks at ball one on a pitch down and in. He walked on 4 straight to lead off the game. He led off 10 consecutive games with hits earlier this year. He's over the top of that changeup. 1 ball and 1 strike to Damon. He's reached base safely in 20 of 47 plate appearances in the last 10 games.
He had his number in this series, though. They've done a pretty good job of keeping him off the bases, except for that walk he had to lead it off. Yeah.
Great action and excellent location for Lima for strikeout number 1 of the day.
You notice in the first couple of innings, I commented he was playing with fire, Bill. He was up in the strike zone, but he may have settled down now. He was so pumped up. If he settles into that good rhythm and keeps the ball there, that's when he's so effective. That's how he went to the All-Star game last year.
Lima is 0-7 with a 7.77 ERA at home. Ray Sanchez looks at ball one. 1-0 to the former Chicago Cub. Sanchez 60 games without an error. And that's not even the best in the American League this year. 1 ball and 1 strike. He has a .997 fielding percentage. Second best to Omar Vizquel,
who never makes an error.
No, he hasn't this year. That's amazing. Here we are at the All-Star break. And he makes a lot of great plays. Line drive into center field. Sanchez gets hit number 3 for Kansas City.
I don't know what it is about Jose Lima. For all the great pitches he makes, and he made about 4 or 5 in a row, he'll leave one right out over the middle of the plate. And you would think with as many good pitches as he throw, Bill, they wouldn't be ready for one even if he makes a mistake. But boy, they hit everything hard he leaves over the plate.
Last time out against Arizona, he did not give up a hit the first 2 innings and then allowed a 7-run third. Mike Sweeney single to left center. There's ball 1 to Sweeney. Batting average against Jose Lima this year is .329. Gone 7 innings 7 times out of his 17 starts. 2 balls and no strikes, and he'll pitch 3rd in the rotation after the All-Star break. Larry Dierker's rotation will lead off with Shane Reynolds against Brian Moeller of Detroit on Thursday night. Then Friday night, Chris Holt and Hideo Nomo. Saturday, Jose Lima and Willie Blair. 2-1. Then the Astros go on to Cleveland.
I think the Astros are going to like that new ballpark in Detroit.
Comerica Park. The pitchers will, won't they?
Mm-hmm.
Vast expanses to cover in the outfield. We heard a lot of complaints from the Tigers hitters earlier this year because of how tough it was to hit home runs. But their pitchers have done much better by and large. It's 3 balls and a strike. It's a weird weekend next weekend, Bill, because of the All-Star break and the way the interleague series fall. With Shane starting off, that'll be Thursday night for the opener of that series, and the finale will be Saturday. Then the Astros begin the next series Sunday afternoon in Cleveland. They'll go Sunday, Monday, Tuesday there. Runner goes, foul back. Sanchez was on his way. It's 3-2 now to Sweeney. He might be running again on this next pitch.
And then when you come back, what an attractive homestand with the Reds and the Cardinals.
Yes, sir. We advise everybody to get their tickets now for those series. Road batting average, there's Sweeney at .401. Second to Pudge Rodriguez, .405 his average. And Sweeney is leading the league in hitting with men in scoring position. The runner goes again. There's a high drive left field line. It's hooking, and it might have hit the roof over there. It did hit the roof. So that makes it a foul ball because it hit the roof above foul territory.
Yep.
If it had hit above fair territory, the ball would have been in play.
The race is on. You know, I noticed. Did you notice then that Sanchez stopped? He
Yes.
should have kept running, because had that ball hit a beam in fair territory, he could have scored on it.
True. Good point. On the other hand, it could have been caught, so maybe that's why he stopped. He's going again and foul back. Still 3 balls and 2 strikes. Well, they give Sweeney every bit of credit for making contact by sending Sanchez. Sweeney has struck out 35 times this year. He's hitting .352. They have a lot of confidence that he can put the ball in play. Sanchez not really a base stealer. He is 2 for 3 so far this year. He's going again, and there's a drive to left center field. Sweeney belts one out of here. A 2-run homer, and Sweeney hits his 15th of the year, giving him 78 runs batted in. Kansas City flip-flops back in front, 3-2. He had some good cuts even when he fouled back some pitches. That's the second home run of the day by the Royals.
You know, I didn't think that was that bad a pitch by Lima. I'd have to look at it again, but I thought he had it down in the strike zone where he likes to be. Yeah, look at Sweeney go and get it. Now that's a case of looking for a pitch in that location and swinging at it and getting it. He was looking for the changeup and he was ready for it.
3-2 Kansas City on Sweeney's 15th. He now has 78 runs batted in. Strike one to Dye, who walked on 4 straight. Now quickly it's 0-2 to Jermaine.
Lima's a home run machine, isn't he?
That's 28 he's given up. He is definitely on that record pace.
I mean, they don't hit singles, doubles, or triples. They hit homers when they hit him. I mean, they hit it a long way. And again, I thought that was a pretty good pitch he made. I know Sweeney thought it was a good pitch.
Dye strikes out. That's number 2 for Lima.
Don't forget that the Sonic Slam inning is coming up in the 6th, and you'll want to keep it right here to find out if you are today's contestant. You have a chance to win that Sonic Slam inning. Entry forms are available on the Sonic takeout bags at participating Houston area Sonic drive-in.
15 homers allowed here at Enron Field by Jose of the 28 he's given up. Mark Quinn looks at ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. Lima won his very first start of the year at Pittsburgh. There's a base hit to left. Quinn gets a 2-out single, the 3rd hit of the inning. Joe Randa will bat.
That Quinn's a hitting machine. Coach Graham, his former coach at Rice, was out visiting with Mark and Lance Berkman before today's batting practice. A couple of his old Rice Owls. Quinn was a good pitcher too when he was at Rice. Throwing the low 90s.
Strike one to Joe Randa. He jerked a home run to left in the 2nd inning. That was his first hit of the series, but he's a .326 career hitter against Houston. Randa's been above .300 since April 23rd. In a consistent year for Joe. No balls and 2 strikes. His home run in the 2nd inning was his 100th hit of the year. Last year he had 197, a career high. He has started all but 1 game this year, so he's grinding it out. Runner goes. Swing and a miss for the strikeout. Lima strikes out the side, but gives up the 2-run homer by Sweeney. 2 runs on 3 hits, and in the middle of the 3rd, it's now 3-2 Royals.
Royals go back on top by a run as we go to the bottom of the 3rd. Let's take a look at our Texas Ford League leaders. These are runs scored. Alex Rodriguez with 84, Todd Helton with 82, Jim Edmonds with 78, and Jeff Bagwell is always right near the top at 77.
A-Rod will miss the All-Star game with that concussion. Craig Biggio leads it off in the home 3rd inning. It's 3-2 Kansas City as Biggio takes ball 1.
You say he's going to miss more than that, Brown. He may miss a couple of weeks.
I wonder why he didn't slide going into 2nd.
I don't know.
Shortstop came across on a double play ball and jumped in the air. Kneed him in the head as he went in late. He didn't really try to get down until he was very close to the bag.
If he wasn't going to miss those 2 weeks, he might have a pretty good shot at Babe Ruth's record of run scored. 1921. What was it? 176?
I think.
177. That's amazing.
2 balls and a strike. Sure is. Tazik, with a 2-run homer by Sweeney, giving him a 1-run lead again. Works to the top of the order here in the 3rd inning. Shooting for win number 3 of the year. It's a good fastball, and it's 2-2. The Kansas City starting staff has accounted for just 16 wins. The Royals at 139 as a team. Their bullpen 23-14. Biggio fouls one on the ground past Joe Randa. Last night they got a strong start from Max Suzuki. 7 innings, no earned runs allowed for Tony Muser's starter in a 5-2 win. Blake Stein went 5 innings the first night of the series. Tony's club sports more hard throwers now than a couple of years ago.
I think in '97, what was it? Oakland had more wins from the bullpen, 37, than its starters. Starters had 28 wins. Only time that's ever happened.
Max Suzuki alongside Blake Stein. Well, that's Dan Reichert over there next to him. I remember their pitching staff. They've got some tall pitchers this year. Stein was 6'7", Watazik 6'4". Suzuki has nice height.
Yeah, Watazik was a good football player in high school. Big guy.
Biggio to left field. Quinn backing on it, and he grabs it. That's a nice play by Mark Quinn, playing only his 3rd game at Enron Field.
Now that's probably his most improved facet of his game. As I said, you know, at Rice, he was a pitcher designated hitter, so he didn't play a lot of defense. He did play some third base, but when he moved in to professional baseball, they put him in the outfield, and he's come a long way at that position.
1 out. Quinn takes care of Biggio's fly ball. Bill Spires hit a ball that could not be caught by Johnny Damon in right center, and it went for a triple in the 1st inning. He came home on a Bagwell fly ball. Billy looks at ball 1. Cardinals lead San Francisco 3-0, top of the 5th inning in St. Louis. Pat Henkin on the mound against Livan Hernandez. Cleveland leads at Cincinnati 3-1 there. Bartolo Colon and Scott Williamson were the starters. Woo, that was dangerously close. 2 balls, no strikes to Bill Spires.
That's part of the game. Got to pitch inside to be effective.
Breaking ball stays high. It's 3 balls and no strikes with Bagwell on deck.
You really hate to see what happened to Mike Piazza last night. Roger Clemens trying to pitch inside to him and hit him. And that's an unfortunate thing that happens a lot of times. And Clemens said he was not throwing at Piazza. He said he was trying to pitch him inside, however, and the ball just got away from him.
Well, Piazza hits the outside pitch extremely well to right and right center.
Yeah, you got to back him off the plate.
Spires lashes one. Fair ball up the right field line. Fans reaching for it, and they grab it. The fans grabbed that one on the way out to the right fielder, Jermaine Dye. The call was made by Gary Cedarstrom. First base umpire had a clear view of it. And that's a double for Bill Spires. A triple and a double. His 9th two-bagger.
That really makes that play by Quinn so big now on Biggio. Biggio may have been looking at a double too that they took away from him, and oh, that's close.
Hit the bag. Watch the fans reaching over, and they touch the ball. So as they interfere with the play, the umpire rules double.
Well, Spires has got a triple and a double now, as he may go for the cycle.
Yeah, the toughest leg of it is the triple, but Bill only has 1 homer this year. He has 2 triples. Jeff Bagwell got his 64th RBI with a fly ball to center. This one a base hit to left. Spires getting a stop sign. Mark Quinn comes up with it. The throw to the plate. Bagwell into second. The throw there hits him, and he is safe.
Great base running there by Bagwell.
He just kept right on going. Throw came through from Quinn to home plate, And Jeff did not waste any time turning the bag at first.
You know what may have fooled Jeff a little bit? I think he thought maybe Zahn would wait for the ball to come to the plate, but Zahn comes out to meet it before it bounces. Now he's decided he's already made up his mind to go. Heads up, base running by Bagwell.
10-game hitting streak for Jeff.
I don't know of anybody that stays in a game anymore than Jeff Bagwell. He's always knows what to do, and he usually always makes the right play.
That can be a big play because now the double play is not in order.
Right.
Lance Berkman, the batter. Lance has runners at second and third with one out. He struck out in the first inning. His mission here to make some contact. The infield is back. Bagwell got a single, took second on the throw. Good breaking pitch for Watazik is strike one. Now the Astros as a team are managing just a low .227 batting average with runners in scoring position, where Spires is at third and Bagwell is at second. Berkman hitting 195 with runners in scoring position. It's 0-2. Two low breaking balls have worked for Watazik so far. Omar Vizquel is homered for Cleveland, his fifth of the year. Hal Morris hit his second for Cincinnati. Indians leading that ball game in Cincinnati 3-1, top of the eighth. Paul Shuey in the game. Toronto is blasting Montreal 10-1, top of the sixth. Frank Castillo on the mound. Berkman lifts one. Quinn back, looking, three-run homer to the Crawford boxes. Number 11 of the year came on an 0-2 pitch to Lance Berkman. And the Astros lead at 5-3. Homers, 32 runs batted in for Lance.
Bill, I told you about that inside-out swing we've been talking about. He said he thought he could have had 2 home runs last night. He just got under it. Look how he misses the target. They wanted to come in. Zahn was set up for the inside part of the plate. The ball drifted out to the middle part of the plate, and Berkman deposited in the seats. There's a perfect example of not hitting your spot as a pitcher.
Moises Alou, who homered in the second inning, fouls it for strike one. Berkman's home run, the second by an Astro today, and the fourth in this game already.
Welcome to Home Run Derby. You don't have to tune in Tuesday night.
Yeah, Lance is doing his work right here in interleague play. And of his 11 home runs, 10 have come with the games really close at the time he hit the ball. 346-footer for Lance. Doug Bachler getting up in the bullpen. Alou takes a breaking pitch. The count goes to 1-1. Lima has the lead again. Alou to center. Johnny Damon just short of the warning track. 2 outs.
He gave that ball a ride. That's about the only area where the ball might die a little bit. If he pulls that to left center, it like he did on his last one, that thing would have gotten up in the wind tunnel.
Watazik trails. He's given up 6 hits and 5 runs. Richard Hidalgo struck out in the second inning. Fastball, strike one to Richard. Raul Mondesi hit his 23rd homer for Toronto, a 3-run shot. That came in a 6-run 5th inning. Mike Mordecai hit his 4th for the Montreal Expos. Dustin Hermanson started for them. Phillies lead Baltimore 4-3, bottom of the 7th.
Boy, Brownie, it is so tough to be a fly ball pitcher and be successful in this ballpark, and that's what Watazik is. In fact, I think just looking here quickly, he's only given up 1 ground ball. Everything else has been in the air, and you can't be successful here doing that.
The opposite of last night's game. In the hole at short, Ray Sanchez. Difficult play. He got him. 60 consecutive errorless games, and this is a gem to end the Astros' 3-run third. 3 runs, 3 hits. Lance Berkman 0-2. 3-run homer to make it 5-3. Houston after 3. Your Astros game tickets right at your fingertips. It's easy. Just go to Astros.com, click on tickets, find your game, then click on buy now. It's that simple. You'll then have your choice of available seating. Go to Astros.com and see for yourself just how easy it is to purchase Astros tickets online. Ball one to Greg Zaun, leading it off here in the 4th inning. And the catcher who fouled out to third takes the second pitch. It's 2-0. Jose Lima falling behind here on the number 7 hitter. Zaun, a well-traveled catcher, 29 years old. 2-1 the count. He's been with Baltimore, moved on to Florida and Texas. He's backed up 3 consecutive all-star catchers. Fouled it back. 2 balls, 2 strikes. He backed up Charles Johnson when he was with the Florida Marlins when they were on that '97 World Series winner. Backed up Pudge Rodriguez in Texas. He backed up Brad Ausmus in Detroit. But he once beat Tiger Woods at golf.
You know, he's got something. Zaun has something in common with Babe Ruth, if you can believe it.
Really?
Well, actually, we can't believe it maybe as much about Babe Ruth anymore as we used to. But last year, he actually called his shot. Zaun did. It was at the Hall of Fame game. Kansas City was playing Texas. He was playing right field, carrying on with the fans. And he told them, next time up, I'm going to hit one out there. And by golly, he did in the Hall of Fame game. Now, as you know, there's some debate whether or not Babe Ruth actually did it in the World Series, but Zaun really did. And for a guy that only has a handful of home runs in his career, even though that one won't show up in any record books anywhere, that was a big moment for him.
That's hard to do, Greg. It's a shot over your way. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Well, how about this? When he was 10 years old, he was a 10 handicap golfer. His mother was the women's golf coach at Southern Cal. And he won the 10 and under division at a Pro-Am tournament in Southern California and beat Tiger Woods by 5 shots. But Tiger was only 6 at the time.
That means, though, you can put his name in with Tiger Woods and Babe Ruth both.
Yeah.
Now, who would ever think that?
I'm sorry, fellas.
Yeah.
I have no story that can top those 2.
Well, he's the nephew of Rick Dempsey. That's another story.
Well, if you'd have said Jack Dempsey, I'd have really gone for it.
We'll cover all the sports for Mr. Zaun. He fouls it away. Still 2 balls and 2 strikes. He's had 89 at-bats this year. Fabregas has caught the first 2 games of this series. Zaun getting his shot in this day game right up to the All-Star break. Kansas City 6-5 against the National League clubs. Houston 3-5 against the American League in interleague play. Lima misses away, and it's 3-2. The Astros have the lowest ERA of any team in interleague play this year. Their overall earned run average as a team is worst in the National League, 5.42, but in interleague play it's 2.67. Ground ball to Biggio. He throws out Zaun. 1 out here in the 4th inning. Luis Ordaz will be next. He flied to right first time up. So on this final day before the break, the Cardinals have stretched their lead now to 5-0 over San Francisco with Henkin on the mound. Indians leading Cincinnati 3-1 top of the 9th. Toronto 11-1 over Montreal bottom of the 6th. Phillies over Baltimore 4-3 bottom of the 7th inning. Minnesota 3 Pittsburgh 2 top of the 9th. Here's strike 1. Corey Koski hit his 6th home run for the Twins. Kevin Young another one in that series for the Pirates, number 13 of the year. Milwaukee leads Detroit 7-2 bottom of the 6th inning. Jason Beret on the hill for the Brewers. 1 ball 1 strike. Tyler Houston has gone deep twice for the Brewhaws to give him 8. Damian Easley hit his 6th. Luis Polonia number 6 for Detroit. Now Jeff Jenkins has added a 2-run shot, number 14 for Milwaukee. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Ordaz. Cubs lead the White Sox 5-4 top of the 6th inning. Kevin Tapani against Cal Eldred. Carlos Lee hit number 16. Maglio Ordonez is 21st, and Frank Thomas is 26th for the Sox. Game at Wrigley Field. There's a strikeout for Lima. That's number 4.
Here's today's Aflac trivia question. And we'll have it for you in a moment. 9 All-Star games have gone to extra innings. How many of those 9 games has the American League won?
What's your guess?
Now, how are we supposed to know that?
We're not. But we can guess.
7?
That's what I was going to guess. I'll take 6. Phil Boudreau will go with 5, and we'll try to bracket it. Tampa Bay's at Florida later this afternoon. Ryan Roop and Jesus Sanchez. Here's ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes. Todd Dunwoody, the pinch hitter here for the pitcher Jay Watazik. Watazik leaves after 3 innings. Dunwoody takes a strike. It's 1-1. Dunwoody retired last night in the 8th inning pinch hitting, and also he made an out as a pinch hitter on Friday night. He's 0 for 2 in this series with a .205 average for 44 at bats. 1 homer and 3 runs batted in. He fouls that one. It's 1-2. The line for Jay Watazik, 3 innings. He allowed 6 hits and 5 runs with no walks, and he struck out 4. Dunwoody, a former Florida Marlin, tries to get a 2-out rally started here. Fouls that one back. Still a ball and 2 strikes. Somebody made a good play here. Boston beat Atlanta today 7-2. Tim Wakefield going to 5-5 with a win over Kevin Millwood. He's 5-8. Millwood got tagged for 10 hits and 7 runs in 4 innings. Atlanta pitching staff running into problems in the first half of the season. Bill, do you think they'll make deals to try to bolster that staff here?
Yeah, there's so many rumors flying around. It's that time of year. It's just hard to, usually after the first deal is made, Brownie, then that opens the floodgates and a lot of deals are made. But right now, not much.
Foul ball. One guy supposedly targeted by Atlanta is Andy Ashby of the Phillies.
He's targeted by everybody, isn't he?
Yeah, and he's in the last year of his contract, could become a free agent. Another guy who may become available is Curt Schilling. Some people think that he might go in a deal.
Well, Phillies are saying definitely not. Lima's name's been mentioned a few times.
There are many players in the rumor mill right now.
Yeah, that's a good pitch. That's a good pitch. You know why? Dunwoody's been leaning out over that plate and hitting that outside changeup, and he keeps fouling it off, and finally Lima got him off that plate. See how he was leaning in? Now let's see if that sets him up for something.
2-2 count.
Yeah,
it did.
Yeah, that's the way to pitch.
Strikeout number 5. A 1-2-3 inning for the first time for Jose today. In the middle of the 4th inning, the Astros are on top 5-3. There is our question by Aflac. 9 All-Star games going to extra innings. How many have been won by the American League? Bill Worrell said 7. Survey says none. Ooh, they tricked us again, Bill.
Boy, I'm easy to trick on that trivia stuff.
Yeah, we're easy, and we can be had, and we were again. So there it is. None.
It's not fair to pick on me like that.
They'll keep doing it. The reliever Jeff Suppan comes in from the Kansas City bullpen, a right-hander who has been in their starting rotation. He's made 18 starts, only 1 relief outing, and now as he comes in, his club trails 5-3. He's 2-6 with a 5.61 ERA, Bill.
Well, it's the Royals' opening day starter, moved back to the bullpen this week after struggling in his last few outings. He has allowed an American League leading 20 homers so far before his demotion. So you see what the Royals are doing. They're moving guys into the bullpen like they did with Whitasick. He got his act together, brought him back as a starter, and now Suppan coming out of the bullpen.
He appeared in relief on July 4th, 5 days ago, working 2 1/3 innings against the White Sox. Lugo showing bunt there, taking ball 1. He got an infield hit off the pitcher's leg. It's 2 balls and no strikes.
Billy had elbow surgery in 1996 and really came all the way back last year, and they thought he was really over the hump. Pitched at least 5 innings in all of 4 but his 32 starts last year, and gave his club a chance to win about just every time he went out there.
Yeah, he worked 208 innings, went 10-12. Former Boston Red Sox farmhand. 3 balls and a strike. He was drafted in the second round by Boston in '93. Then the expansion draft got him. Arizona took him in '97. Kansas City purchased him in '98. Fly ball right near the line by Lugo, and Jermaine Dye comes over. It's a foul ball.
Not a lot of room over there, Dye. You have to, if you're going to try to make the catch, you've got to go full speed, and then there's no place to stop. Here's what I'm talking about. He has to start to slow down to stop right there at the wall.
Suppan got a start against Jose Lima last year in Kansas City on July 10th, and he lost that game 7-3. He retired the first 9 batters in the game, but gave up 5 runs in 7 1/3 innings. Lugo fouls it away. Still a full count to Julio.
Suppan really has a nice, easy delivery when you watch him pitch, and I think that makes that 90-mile-per-hour fastball a little quicker for him. But he's a little different in Whitisick in that he uses his fastball to set up his off-speed stuff. He's got some good off-speed stuff.
He walks Lugo. First walk of the game by a Kansas City pitcher.
I'll tell you, the Royals staff, of course, as you've mentioned, Bill, leads the majors in homers allowed. They also lead the American League in walks given up. As we talked about last night, that's a deadly combination for a team to have.
Well, homers and walks, you're right.
Yeah, that doesn't go well in this building.
Tony Eusebio struck out in the second inning when Lugo was stealing second. Eusebio struck out on that pitch. This one goes to center field. A hit in front of Damon. Lugo for third. The throw goes into second. And it's first and third, nobody out as Eusebio singles.
Well, that's a good job by Lugo. He obviously knows the scouting report on Damon is he's not a center fielder. He does not have a good arm. So even though the ball was in Damon's glove by the time Lugo was touching second, he never hesitated. He came all the way to third. Here's that hanging pitch by Suppan. Now watch, and he has a little trouble with it getting it out of his glove right there. Lugo never slows down.
Now Jose Lima waves at strike one. Lima bounced out to first base in the second inning. As Bill mentioned, Suppan was the opening day starter at Toronto for this Kansas City club. Jose Rosado, normally considered the ace of the staff, started the third game. And Rosado won his first start of the year, but then he went on the shelf. He's out for the year with surgery. 1 ball and 1 strike. Rosado, a quality lefty, and the Royals miss him in their rotation. Lima comes down to talk with Mike Covich. Suppan had made 51 consecutive starts until 5 days ago when he worked in relief against Chicago. Kansas City bullpen has logged 296 innings already this year with 145 walks, and quite often what they'll do, and what they may plan on doing today, is bring a reliever out of the pen if the starter struggles and leave him in for 2 or 3 innings.
It's pretty easy to run on. They stole 19 bases off of him last year in 25 tries, although Tony, not a base stealer, but in the case of a bunt,
he missed the tag and threw out Lima. Sweeney talking with Scott Packard. Sweeney checking with that call because Lima bunted to him, and then he thought he had tagged Jose.
Well, apparently he didn't see a sign. He didn't see a signal by the home plate umpire, so he very wisely threw to first. You know, you may think you tag him if the umpire doesn't see it. You better get a. The umpire gave him a safe sign apparently. There he is. He thinks he tags him. Now he looks to third, and the pitcher's yelling at him, "Go to first." So the pitcher's the one that saw the safe sign.
Sacrificed by Lima, his 5th of the year.
Lima says that's a way to bunt.
Runners at second and third, 1 out now. Craig Biggio tops one. Biggio 0 for 2 in this game. 2 men in scoring position for him, with the Astros leading by 2, 5-3 in the 4th. Bill Spires is on deck. The infield is laying back. Kansas City conceding a run on a ground ball. Fastball is strike 2 call, and it's 0-2. The Royals have had 28 different relief stints of at least 3 innings pitched in a game.
He has a pretty tough changeup he likes to use with 2 strikes on a hitter. They'll come away from him.
1-2.
Not an overpowering pitcher, and he likes to paint the corners.
Brent Strom, the pitching coach, sitting alongside the manager Tony Muser there in the Kansas City dugout. Biggio to right center. Johnny Damon on the run. Lugo's tagging. Eusebio tagging. They're both on the move. The run scores, and it's 6-3 on a sacrifice fly by Biggio. Lugo scores, and Eusebio goes to third.
Boy, that was a good job by Craig. That's a pretty tough pitch. A slider a little out of the strike zone, and Craig did a great job of situational hitting. He was going to be sure to score that run from third, and he did. And you see how little respect they have for Johnny Damon's arm when Eusebio tags up and goes to third.
That's true. He did have to move to right center field, and he's a left-handed thrower. And so it's 6-3 on Biggio's 29th RBI. Bill Spires has a triple and a double today. There's ball 1. A nice block by Greg Zaun. Spires has scored 2 runs.
All right, go ahead and get that single now and drive in another run, and then that'll give you a couple of at-bats to work on that home run for the side.
Wouldn't that be something? 2 cycles in 1 week here? Too much to take. There's been about 5 or 6 in the majors this year already.
Yeah, they have.
2 balls and no strikes. 6-3. Houston leads it. The Astros have the edge in hits 7-5. Kansas City has the only error. It's a good changeup.
Yeah.
That makes it 2-1. Supon's from Oklahoma City. Went to Crespi High School in Encino, California. He was on the Mickey Mantle World Series championship team. Made his debut with Boston in '95. Spires hits it foul first base side. It's 2-2 to Bill. Suppan made his major league debut at age 20, and that was the youngest by a Boston Red Sox player since 1969. And gave up a home run to the first batter he faced, Keith Lockhart. Inside, and it's 3-2. Bill Spires 1 for 3 against this right-hander. This is the rubber game of this 3-game series as the Astros and Royals take it up to the All-Star break. Jeff Bagwell's on deck. Spires draws a walk. 1st and 3rd now, and 1 out for Jeff Bagwell.
Tonight at 10 and 12 on the National Sports Report, we'll have the highlights of the Wimbledon men's final round of the Western Open, and Major League Baseball at the break. The National Sports Report tonight at 10 and 12.
Pete Sampras a winner over Patrick Rafter. 4 sets.
Did Greg Zahn ever beat Sampras in tennis?
Not that we know of, no.
Okay.
Jeff Bagwell with a sacrifice fly, a single and a run scored. Takes strike 1. When he scored a run in the 3rd inning, it was the 999th run scored of his career. He's about to become the 2nd Astro to score 1,000. Pitch upstairs makes it 1 ball, 1 strike. 2 guys who started their careers in the Boston organization squaring off here.
Yeah. Just so much fun to come to the ballpark and watch the consummate professional Jeff Bagwell. He just does so many things well. He has great baseball instincts.
1-2 2.
Boy, what a nasty pitch that was.
Suppan pulled the string.
You can get him if you make good pitches, as you can with most hitters. But if you make a mistake, he may be one of the best mistake hitters in baseball, and he'll hit it a long way.
Nice stop by Zahn again. 2-2. The Astros 1-4 on this homestand. They'd love to leave for the break with a winning taste in their mouths. They have not won a home series in a long time. Bagwell to center. Johnny Damon way back into center field, and again the park has a lot of room there, and it's out number 3. The Astros get a run in the 4th inning on 1 hit. They leave 2. They're on top 6-3.
Houston Astros baseball on Fox Sports Net is brought to you by Gatorade Thirst Quenchers, so bold it's fierce. Gatorade, is it in you? And by Jack, the most beaned batter in baseball history.
Here at Enron Field, the Astros have backed Jose Lima with 6 runs already through 4. They lead at 6-3. They've out-hit Kansas City 7-5. The Royals have the only error. They've had a total of 4 long balls already. Miranda and Sweeney for the Royals. Alou and Berkman for the Astros. Now the 5th inning opens for Jose Lima. Starting pitcher has to go 5 innings to qualify for the win. Lima has retired 4 in a row as he tries to get right through the 5th and maintain this lead. Bill,
well, I know everybody's pulling for him. He got the biggest round of applause from the fans when his name was announced before the game. He's still very popular. Everybody pulls for him because he loves Houston. He loves this team, and you know, he's so much a part of the chemistry that makes up this Astros team. And when he's down, when he's going bad, it just seems like it affects everybody. So they really want to get him going again.
Strike 1 to Johnny Damon, who's walked and struck out. Damon puts one in the air right center field. Lance Berkman heading way back toward the bullpen. Johnny Damon unloads into the Astros bullpen for home run number 8 of the year, and Kansas City pulls to within 2 at 6-4 on the 3rd Royal home run of the day. 8 homers, 36 runs batted in for Damon. This could be a very difficult inning both for Lima and Larry Dierker.
Yeah, Dierker wants to leave him in, of course, to have him qualify for a win, but you got to get through the 5th. Boy, what is it about those pitches when Lima, they hit him a long way.
Now foul ball by the next hitter, Ray Sanchez, and the count's 0-1. Sanchez is 1 for 2. Lima with 3 more homers allowed. That takes him to 29 given up for the year.
He's a shoo-in if he pitches regularly the rest of the season. He's probably a shoo-in for the most homers ever given up in a season.
Certainly on that kind of a record pace. He leads by 2 now. And there's a jam shot pop-up. Lugo out into shallow left, calling. Sanchez retired. There's 1 out.
And you know, the guy that has the record, Bert Blyleven, was a heck of a pitcher.
Oh yes, very good pitcher.
He wasn't any dog. He gave up a lot of home runs, but a lot of them were like Lima's, usually not anybody on base. If Lima, you know, Lima gave up in his 20-win season. You know, he's won 37 games in the last 2 seasons. He's given up a lot of home runs, but they've usually been with the bases empty, and it hasn't hurt him a lot.
Ball 1 to Mike Sweeney. Sweeney has singled to left center and ripped a 2-run homer to left center. Now it's 2-0.
You know, the biggest decision for the Astros, Bill, as they go into the 2nd half is what to do with Jose. Is he the pitcher that won 37 games the last 2 seasons, or is he the pitcher that's losing 13 in a row right now? And that's going to be a big decision as to what they do, because he'll go out and give you 200 innings pitched every year. And it's hard to give up pitching if you think that this season's just an aberration.
Sweeney is on for the 3rd straight time. That's the 3rd walk for Lima.
All right, here's today's Geico Direct Moment. Lee Elia, the manager of the Cubs back in 1983. If we could have stayed away from the 13-game and 8-game losing streaks, there's no telling what we could have accomplished. Yeah. Well, this is a key moment now for Jose Lima. And he's been having a lot of heart-to-heart talks with Bert Hooton over the last week or so. And, you know, I know Bert's talking to him as we go pitch by pitch with Sweeney, and both up in the strike zone. All 3 pitches up in the strike zone, and finally one outside. There's some stirring around in the bullpen for the Astros.
Well, when you talk about Lima needing to go 5, Larry Dierker will make every effort, of course, to get him through 5 innings, but he needs to have a lead to qualify for the win. And Jermaine Dye is the batter.
More importantly for Larry, he wants a win. I know he wants to help Lima's confidence, but he wants to win this final game before the All-Star game.
87 pitches already for Lima, who throws ball 1 to Dye. Dye has walked and struck out. He walked on 4 pitches, and he struck out on an 0-2 pitch. One and 1 to count. Maybe the reason Bert Hooton went to the mound is that Lima really lost that focus in the 7-run third in his last start, and the Astros couldn't even get a pitcher loose in time to prevent the carnage. It went so quickly for them. 1 ball and 2 strikes, so a chance for Jose to refocus a little bit on the visit by the pitching coach after that 4-pitch walk to Sweeney. And all 3 of his walks have been on 4 straight pitches in this game. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Doug Henry's a man who's warming up now. Well, they're playing the All-Star Futures game today at Atlanta's Turner Field. Changeup misses, and it's 3-2 now.
Now, that's 5 changeups in a row. What do you do here on 3-2?
Well, he certainly needs to throw something close to the plate for one thing. Eusebio wants it down, and the runner goes. It's fouled.
So far, it appears that Dye has had a little trouble with that changeup. Keep it down.
Now the Round Rock manager Jackie Moore is serving on the staff of the U.S. team. Jim Rice is the skipper in that All-Star Futures game at Turner Field today. Astros also represented by Class A Michigan left-hander Carlos Hernandez. Line drive to left center for a hit. Alou will throw for third. Offline. Billy Spires with a throw back to first. Safe. Barely. That's a good play by Bill Spires. But Dye singles, and Sweeney takes third.
I'll tell you, Dye's a dead duck if the throw's not high. The throw was a little high. It was a great play by Spires, but with the throw being high, it was hard for Bagwell to get the tag down. Alou's way off target on his throw, but it was a good job by Spires to come off the base, and then he throws to first. If it's down a little bit, I think they had him. Good play anyway.
Now Lima's lead is certainly being threatened. Runners at first and third, and 1 out for Mark Quinn. Quinn single to left in the third. He's 1 for 2. Ball 1. Lima missing low and outside again.
No, he's struggling.
Quinn won the batting title in Double-A and again at Triple-A. Well, he is ready for major league pitching, and last year he hit 333 in 60 at bats. 6 home runs for Kansas City. Quinn has had 3 big game-winning hits this year for the Royals, and he also hit 2 homers in 1 game. He won consecutive games game-winning hits against Tampa Bay back in April. 2 balls, no strikes. So Lima falling behind again, and his pitch count is high for him, 96 in the 5th inning. Laboring here, trying to get the 5 innings under his belt. Bouncing to Biggio. He tosses, and Lugo airborne, double play. 1 run, 2 hits, a man left. The Astros turn their 77th double play to preserve a 6-4 lead.
They don't call it the pitcher's best friend for nothing. lead it as we go to the bottom of the fifth, 6-4. Remember tonight, tune into the 11 p.m. Regional Sports Report. You'll see all the local news pertaining to your region, and that's tonight at 11.
Strike one to Lance Berkman, who ripped a 3-run homer on an 0-2 count in the third inning. Tops one up the first base line, and it's no balls, 2 strikes again. So maybe it's a setup for Lance to do what he did in the third inning with 2 men on. He struck out in the first.
As with any good hitter, they've been pitching him outside, coming inside occasionally, and if you keep showing a good hitter the same location, it doesn't make any difference what kind of pitch it is. He's going to hit it hard. There it is again.
To left field, backing up Mark Quinn. Lance Berkman with number 2 of the day.
I can't believe it. Boy, that's 2 0-2 pitches that he's hit for home runs. Terrible location, outside part of the plate, same place they've been going.
Both times he's weighted back on the 0-2 pitch, hit it to the opposite field, and it's landed in the Crawford boxes to give him now 12 homers and 4 RBIs in this game, giving him 33 for the year.
You know, it's one thing to call this a hitter's ballpark, but all the mistakes the pitchers are making. I mean, you know, if you pitched a little smarter, it might be harder to hit home runs here.
4 RBI day for Lance Berkman. And the Astros lead it by 3 again, 7-4. Alou fouls it. Alou homered in the second inning. Count on him is 1-1. He's 1 for 2.
Are we on a record pace for homers?
Yes, sir. Berkman had 4 runs batted in back-to-back games at Colorado, May 30th and 31st. Now he does it a 3rd time this year. 2 balls and a strike.
I got a feeling he and Mark Quinn had a little wager before this series started.
Mark Quinn has watched a couple of Berkman home runs go over his head today. Fly ball right center. Landing in for a single. Jermaine Dye picks it up. Alou is 2 for 3 in this game. Richard Hidalgo's the batter. He's 0 for 2, a strikeout and a ground ball in the hole. Ray Sanchez made a nice play on him from the shortstop post and threw him out in the 3rd inning. Ball 1 to Richard Hidalgo. 2nd time in Lance Berkman's career he's hit 2 home runs in a game. He did it last July at San Diego.
Won't be the last, will it, Bill?
Oh, no. Julio Lugo getting ready there. 2 balls and no strikes, so the 2 homers in a game, the 4 RBIs in a game, tying career highs for Lance Berkman. He's hit 6 of his 12 home runs at Enron Field. 3 balls and no strikes. On deck as Hidalgo bats with the Astros up by 3, 7-4.
See if they give Hidalgo the green light here on 3-0. If Suppan tries to guide one in there. Ooh.
Yes, he did have the green light. He took a very aggressive cut.
He was right on it. He just missed it.
3-1 to Richard.
Oh, did he have one to hit? Look at that.
Look at the guy flinching right behind the screen. Almost got a line drive in his chest. 3 balls on a strike. Oh, there's another one. 3-2. Lugo on deck. Freewheeling series today. The Astros have gone deep 3 times, and the Royals can match that. 6 home runs. Goes, and it's foul back. Alou took off. The count 3-2. We'll see if he goes on the next one with nobody out in the inning. Royals relievers have combined for an ERA of 5.40. for the Astros, who have scored 7 runs and lost 11 times this year, 7 runs right now, probably not the feeling that they have enough in this ball game with a 7-4 lead. Bill,
I wouldn't think so. Not the way balls are flying out of here today. Better get all you can get.
Alu's on the move again. Fly ball center. Johnny Damon backing. 1 out here in the 5th inning. Julio Lugo next. He got an infield hit in the 2nd, stole a base, advanced as far as 3rd, walked and scored in the 4th. Lugo was leading off quite often. His batting average has tailed off. About his first 50 at bats in the major leagues, he had a very high batting average. Now he's been put in that number 7 spot in the order for this ball game. Craig Biggio leading off for only the 2nd time since mid-June. So we'll have to see what Larry Dierker comes out with in the 2nd half of the season for a leadoff man. Ball 1. Bill Spires has been doing some leading off as well.
You know, it's so unfortunate for Roger Cedeno to get injured, Bill, because he was really starting to get comfortable in that leadoff role. His batting average was going up. He was becoming a lot more confident in the field. That was really a setback.
That's hit well to right center. Jermaine Dye legging it back, and it's off the wall. Caromming past him to Damon. Alu's coming home. Here's the throw to the plate. He's out. That's a great relay throw by the infielder Ordaz. He just gunned it from shallow right center field, and Alu is out at the plate for out number 2. From 8 to 4 to 2.
Man, I don't know how he didn't score on this. It's absolutely baffling. That ball's hit as far as it can hit in this, and he was out by a mile.
Yep, that was not close. It's a double for Lugo. He takes 3rd on the throw to the plate. It's out number 2. 2 very good throws by Damon and Ordaz got it done. Tony Eusebio's 1 for 2. There's ball 1 to him. Lugo's had a big day. That's his 8th 2-bagger. Hit number 10 for the Astros. Strike makes it 1-1 to Eusebio. Jose Lima's on deck. The Astros lead at 7-4 in the 5th. Breaking ball makes it 2 balls and a strike. Astros doing everything they can with their bats to show support for Lima as he tries to snap that club record 13-game losing streak. They've had a hit in every inning. Joe Randa throws out Eusebio, and the Astros get a run on 3 hits. As the 5th inning comes to an end, it is 7-4 Houston, with Berkman going deep for the 2nd time today.
Go to the top of the 6th. Next series, we want to remind you, at Enron Field brings back Central Division rivals, the Cincinnati Reds, for a 2-game series on Wednesday, July 19th and Thursday, July 20th. Tickets are available at the Enron Field box office, Ticketmaster outlets, or you can call 713-6-ASTROS.
Here is Joe Randa, and he has hit 1 of the 6 home runs in this ball game. That's number 9 of the year for Joe back in the 2nd inning. He's 1 for 2. He leads off the 6th. The Royals trail 7-4. They've been out hit 10-7. Zahn and Ordaz due to follow as Lima throws strike 1. Jose gave up a run in the 2nd on the Randa homer, a 2-run shot to Sweeney in the 3rd. Another homer in the 5th inning. No balls and 2 strikes to Joe Randa. Lima last year was 21-10 with an ERA of 3.58. He gave up 3 earned runs or fewer in 27 of his 35 starts last year.
You see how Randa was starting to move to the middle of the plate, and that ball got him back off the plate. Very effective pitch. See, and that set up the strikeout.
Yes, it did. That's the second time you pointed that out, and it's strikeout number 6 of the year. So Lima's doing some things very well today.
They're doing things he has to do, Bill. This is just called survival. And I think he's getting desperate enough now where he's going to continue to pitch inside. That's the only way he can pitch, because his effective stuff is all on the middle to the outside part of the plate.
12-4 a year ago. Zahn taps that one foul for strike 1. He's 0 for 2. Zahn's a .310 career hitter against Houston. Lima did not have a strikeout in 3 innings in his last start. A loss to Randy Johnson. The Diamondbacks. Now Lou watches this slicing foul ball go out of play.
Wow, that was close.
Just 315 feet to the left field foul pole. No balls and 2 strikes. A left-handed hitter can take advantage of that short distance. A fly ball that might be foul in another park might be just fair before it slices on the other side of that foul pole here.
We've seen Todd Helton do it a couple of times, and we've already seen Lance Berkman do it.
Lima's strikeout high is 8 in a game this year. That came in his second start of the season here against St. Louis.
Great pitch.
That's number 7. Lima's due to lead it off in the bottom of this inning. Now Zahn is in the face of Scott Packard.
Well, what Zahn's upset about is he's saying, I'm not getting that call. You see, he pointed at himself. He says, I'm not getting that call. My pitchers aren't getting the inside call. You know, you don't see umpires call a lot of inside strikes. They'll call that outside corner, but very rarely do they call an inside strike. And Scott Packard, who looks like he's about 15 years old, this is a good pitch. See how it works back in over the plate? And it's a good framing job by Eusebio.
Zahn didn't think so. And it's 7 strikeouts for Lima. Now here's Ordaz. He's 0 for 2. Ball 1. Lima may come out of the game after this inning. The Astros have had Doug Henry up in the bullpen. Right now nobody's throwing. Fly ball. Lance Berkman coming in. 106 pitches thrown by Lima. He has a 1-2-3 inning for the second time today. Maybe he won't come out.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's 7-4 Astros in the 6th.
It's a home run this half inning. Our contestant wins the current jackpot plus $100 for each additional home run. And if he hits a grand slam, that's $25,000. Today's contestant is Bruce Casilla of Humble, Texas, and he's playing for $200.
All right, Bruce. There's strike 1 to Jose Lima. Lima had a strong 6th inning with 2 strikeouts and a fly ball. Bruce Casilla hoping that he, Biggio, or Spires can deliver. Lima fouls it 0-2. Jose 0 for 1 with a sack.
What's wrong with Lima?
Nothing at all.
Deliver.
He could. He does it in batting practice all the time. And he'd love to take the tour here at Enron Field after giving up so many.
Oh my goodness.
He's not gone deep in his big league career. Still no balls and 2 strikes.
Not without a lack of effort, because he really takes a cut.
Yes, he does. It's like pitcher's revenge when they get in the cage for batting practice every day.
That's right.
Line drive to center.
Oh, it's
a hit.
Definitely Lima time today.
On an 0-2 pitch, Lima gets hit number 3 of the year. It's not exactly pressing Shane Reynolds or Scott Ellerton, but here's a nice swing.
Look at him toss this bat. Yeah, man, I know how to do this. That's my man.
Leadoff single. He's a base runner now for Craig Biggio, who's 0 for 2 with a sac fly. Fouls it away for strike 1. Billy Spires on deck. The Astros have lost 17 of their last 22 ball games. Jose Lima trying to become the first Houston pitcher starter other than Scott Ellerton to win a game in a long time. Strike call, and it's 0-2. Shane Reynolds back on June 13th. The last pitcher other than Ellerton among starting pitchers to win. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Billy Spires on deck here in the finale of this homestand. Next one will bring a couple of Central Division rivals to town. Reds and Cardinals. It's 2-2.
You see Zahn hold that there a long time. He wanted an umpire to call that inside corner for him, and he didn't get it.
Didn't get it. July 19th and 20th, Cincinnati here, and the 21st through the 23rd over the weekend, the St. Louis Cardinals. That's the next homestand for the Astros. Those are the only remaining home games in the month of July. Biggio rolls it foul. 2-2 in August. Montreal comes in, followed by the Mets, the Pirates, Milwaukee, and Chicago. The Astros would love to climb up that ladder in the second half. Some of the players talking before the game last night about third place being achievable. It'd be nice for them to set that goal and go after it in the second half of the season. Technically, we're already in the second half, but most people in baseball speak of the second half beginning after the All-Star break. On appeal to Marvin Hudson, or Gary Cedarstrom rather, it's 3 balls and 2 strikes. Lima the runner at first with nobody out. He's going. That's ball 4. Biggio walks for the 56th time this year. That's the 3rd for Suppan. He's in his 3rd inning.
Here's Lima taking off of those little short strides. Well, you love to watch him play. Brings a little extra to the ballpark. Yeah, he may strut like a peacock, and he may have a little mustard on his uniform, but he's fun to watch. He's a big part of the chemistry and makeup of this ball club, and if they can get him going in that second half, it's going to be, I think, a lot better for the ball club.
Doug Bachler, a right-hander, is getting loose in the Kansas City bullpen. It's really not necessary to qualify left-handers and right-handers because there are only right-handers on the Kansas City staff right now. 7-4 ball game with Lima on at second, Biggio at first, nobody out in the 6th inning, and Bill Spires the batter. Spires has a perfect day going, a triple, a double, and a walk.
Yeah, that's going to be it as Tony Muser comes out now, make a double switch. This is a chance right here, Brownie, for the Astros to break this game wide open, and Muser knows it.
Jeff Rebelet's coming off the bench, and the new pitcher comes in. The call has gone out to the bullpen. It's time for a Southwestern Bell pitching change. We'll be back in a moment. Comes to the mound for Kansas City. Well-traveled right-hander who is 0-1 with an ERA of 9 in just 2 games with Kansas City this year, Bill.
Yep, one of the many arms the Royals now are trying to work in the bullpen to see if he can get it done. He's a veteran minor leaguer, turned 30 years old earlier this week.
Bachler drafted by Montreal in '89, then he moved on to the Rockies, San Diego, Oakland, and Detroit, then the Dodgers. Kansas City picked him up in January as a free agent. Bill Spires hits one up the right field line. Extra bases off the wall for Spires. He heads for second. Lima coming home. The throw to the plate not in time, and the Astros lead it 8-4. Spires with his second double. It's his 3rd extra base hit of the day. Lima is home with run number 8 and a 4-run lead for Houston.
Boy, that Spires is red hot today. You can't throw the ball by him.
That's 10 doubles for the year.
He hit it in a spot too where, of course, Lima's going to score easily, but Biggio had it right there in front of him, so he was able to get over to third.
That's hit number 12 for Houston. Now Jeff Bagwell has runners at second and third. He's 1 for 2 with a sac fly. Nice block by Zahn. Ball one from Doug Bachler. Bachler was pitching for AAA Omaha until June 28th when the Royals purchased his contract. He made 25 outings in the AAA ranks, going 2-1 with 2 saves and a 3.79 ERA. Made his Royals debut June 30th. That was his first appearance in the majors since June of '99 as a Dodger. He taps that toe as he comes through in his delivery. 2 balls, no strikes. Last year, Bachler got in only a dozen games as a Dodger before he was outrighted in June to the minor leagues. Upstairs to Bagwell. 3-0 to Jeff. Bachler was in spring training this year with the Royals as a non-roster player. He pitched 8 times there. They had a lot of pitchers to look at this spring. There's ball 4, the intentional walk.
Yeah, I don't know why they didn't do it from the get-go. I guess they thought Bagwell would swing at a bad pitch, but he hardly ever does.
Lance Berkman both times on 0-2 counts, Bill.
Yeah, it's kind of, on a day like today, you'd normally always walk Bagwell, but now you're pitching to Berkman and Spires that had the hot bats today.
As you saw, he took that breaking ball out on the 0-2 pitch in the 5th inning. So Lance is 2 for 3 in this game. Bases loaded, nobody out. Fly ball. Shortstop is out, and the infield fly is called. Sanchez with the catch for out number 1.
Well, here's the right man for you, Bruce. Bruce Casilla. He's got a shot at 25 grand here, Bruce. If you can get you a grand slam, Sonic grand slam. Hang in there, Bruce. I'm pulling for you.
That $200 looks good, Bruce, but $25,000.
Yeah, Bruce says it's just a matter of zeros, fellas.
If Bruce is out mowing the yard or something, his wife is probably making him come in right now. Moises Alou is 2 for 3. He homered in the 2nd inning. A real blast over the Conoco pump in left center field. There's strike 1 to Alou, and the Royals have given up more home runs than any other pitching staff in the majors. 3 more today, giving them 146 home runs allowed for the year. Alou's hit a couple of grand slams in his career. 1 ball and 1 strike to Mo. .319 batting average with the bases loaded. The Astros as a team have hit 3 slams this season. We've had 2 $25,000 winners in our Sonic game. He went around on appeal to Cedarstrom. It's 1-2.
Nice little slider there, and that indeed is the correct call, and he knew it.
Richard Hidalgo's on deck. Alou takes ball 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
So tough to pitch to a guy like Alou with the bases loaded. There's no place to put him. Of course, a pitcher hates to walk in a run, but it's definitely his advantage. I think if you're a pitcher, you just have to keep throwing a breaking pitch, something out of the strike zone, hope he'll swing at it.
Now it's 3-2. This could get very interesting on the 3-2 pitch.
Yeah, do you give up 1 run or 4? That might be the decision now that Bachler's going to have to make. If he grooves one.
3-2, and Alou fouls it back.
Good job of spoiling that pitch, just fouling it off. Put a little one-arm swing on it.
These Kansas City pitchers have had a rough time this year with a 5.82 staff ERA, the highest in the majors. Ball 4, walks in a run.
Now, Bill, that's a great job by Moises Alou. Good patience. Don't swing at ball 4. to be patient and hope that Hidalgo, see now that he's not any easier off with Hidalgo up there.
Alou's bases loaded walk gives him his second RBI of the day, his 48th of the year. Hidalgo's 0 for 3. Nine to 4 ball game. Richard hit a grand slam very early in the season, as you'll recall, on opening night in Pittsburgh. 0 for 3 in this ball game. Shortstop Sanchez made a fine play to get him in the third inning.
You're still in it, Bruce.
Still alive with one out and the bases loaded, Bruce. Hidalgo puts it in the air, foul for Mike Sweeney, but he has not enough room to get there, and it's no balls and 2 strikes.
That's probably the first time in Bruce's life he's ever screamed for a ball to go foul. 25 grand with a home run here.
Hidalgo, Bagwell, and Caminetti have all hit slams for the Astros in the year 2000. It's 9 to 4. Fouled away, still 0-2. Jeff Supani in 2 innings plus allowed 5 hits and 4 runs. Walking 3, he did not have a strikeout. The runner at third has his lead, and that's strike 3. Bachler gets out number 2.
That was a good pitch. Had it right down on the knees on the inside part of the plate. Yeah. Too close to take with 2 strikes.
Julio Lugo, the batter, he's been on all 3 times with an infield hit, a walk, and a double. 9 to 4 lead for the Astros, and Lugo hopes to really break it open here. Strike 1.
Boy, if Bachler can get out of this, they got to feel like they're still in the ball game.
Yeah.
Be a big lift for them.
Yes, it would be.
Base hit would go a long way to opening this one up.
Lugo went for it on a breaking pitch, and it's 0-2 quickly. Bachler gave up a grand slam to an Astro at 96, Sean Berry in San Diego. Lugo fouls it back.
Good idea. He laid back on it, tried to go the opposite way.
Bachler was really riddled by home run balls for Detroit. In '98, he gave up 17 long balls in 67 innings that year. Spires, Bagwell, and Alou the base runners for Julio Lugo. That looked good, but it's called ball 1. Looked like about the same pitch Hidalgo took.
Maybe a little higher. Boy. He was trying to dance, and he must have danced the umpire out of it.
1 ball and 2 strikes.
Boy, a lot of young umpires around right now, aren't there?
Yes.
I mean, babyface guys.
Well, 22 guys lost their jobs and still negotiating over getting some of those back. 2 balls and 2 strikes. The Astros have scored in every inning so far. Single runs in the first, second, fourth, and fifth. 3 runs in the third. 2 runs here in the 6th so far. And the changeup, a strikeout of Lugo, ends the 6th inning. The Astros get 2 in the 6th on 2 base hits. They leave 3. It's now Houston 9, Kansas City 4. Houston leads at 9-4 over Kansas City as we check the Astros' upcoming road schedule, brought to you by La Quinta. Billy Spires and the Astros will be traveling to Detroit to meet the Tigers. Thursday at 6 o'clock, that game on KNWS, and Friday a 6 o'clock game as well. Saturday 12 o'clock Fox game for Craig Biggio and company. Shane Reynolds and Brian Moeller Friday night. Chris Holt and Hideo Nomo Saturday afternoon, or Thursday night it's Reynolds and Moeller. Holt and Nomo Friday night, and Lima and Blair Saturday. And that'll be the end of that series. Then on to Cleveland for the next one starting Sunday afternoon. Jose Lima trying to snap that club record 13-game losing streak. Has a big leg up on that now, leading 9-4. There's almost no way he could lose this game. He wouldn't be allowed to stay in. So now anything he gives the club is a bonus moving to the 7th inning. The only problem would be the Astros bullpen as a barrier on his way to win number 2 of the year. Jeff Rebele leads it off here. Rebele, with his first playing time of this series, brings a .281 average and 10 runs batted in for the LSU man, as Bill told us. Rebele's had 121 at bats. He's had 6 doubles. He's played well in the field, and that's been a hallmark of Jeff's career. 1 ball and 1 strike for Rebele. Rebele's moved right in at second base lately for the injured Carlos Febles, and he has hit better than some might have thought, looking at his career numbers. He goes for an upstairs pitch, and it's 1-2 to Rebele. Rebele 0 for his last 15. He got hurt, had a hip injury trying to turn a double play a few nights ago. Lines this one, and Lugo sprints to his right, reaches down and grabs it on the run for out number 1.
Oh, that's a terrific play. He covered a lot of ground.
That's a hard play to make because he's going directly away from second base and reaching down to the backhand side.
Nice quick first step made that play.
1 away on the soft liner. Johnny Damon takes. Here's ball 1 to Damon.
You don't know how big it is to a guy like Lima to get that first out for him.
That fastball was at 90 by Jose. Damon pops it up on the infield. Lugo wanting this one.
You know, this is a nice decision, I think, by Larry Dierker. I want to remind you tonight at 10 and 12 on the National Sports Report, Pete Sampras wins the Wimbledon men's final. Sets a new all-time record for major championships. Final round the Western Open. Major League Baseball at the break. The National Sports Report tonight at 10 and 12. Yeah, Lima had such a nice 6th inning that I think Dierker decided, even at 106 pitches, let's see if he can go out and have another one. Because remember last year when he won 21 games, Bill, he had a high pitch count in a lot of games. And that didn't seem to bother him at all. I think they just want to get him in a groove. It seems to be in a pretty good one right now.
Well, this could bring him back revitalized for that series in Detroit. Sanchez fouls it. It's 1-1 to Ray. He's 1 for 3. Lima had 114 pitches for the day.
Plus, turning it over to the bullpen hasn't always been a safe way to go this season either.
Well, right now, with the way he has worked, he has survived 3 home runs. His offense has supported him very well. He has struck out 7. He has a lot of positives for the day. 1 ball and 2 strikes. He came into this game with a record here at Enron Field of 0-7 with a 7.77 ERA. That's a lot of 7s, and they have not been lucky for Jose.
They haven't.
High heater blows away Sanchez. That's 8 strikeouts, tying his single game high for the year 2000. And a 1-2-3 7th inning. Jose squarely in the driver's seat right now. It's 9-4 Houston.
The 7th inning stretch is brought to you by today's manufactured home, a perfect choice for living for life. For more information, call 1-888-3-HOME-10.
Well, Bill, the roof stayed on during the game last night. It has stayed on, of course, all afternoon. It's probably pushing 98 degrees out there right now. The Astros lead it 9-4. It is just too hot to roll it back here in July. There's strike 1 as Tony Eusebio leads it off for the home 7th inning. 9-4 Houston lead. Eusebio has 1 of the Houston hits, a single in the 4th inning. 12 hits by the Astros. 1 ball and 1 strike. Matt Mieske is on deck to pinch hit for Jose Lima. It's 1-2. The Astros trying to win a series at home for the first time since late May when they beat the Atlanta Braves 2-1 here, May 26th through the 28th. Been a long drought. 2-2. Their record at home is just 14-28, and they've lost 7 of the last 8 here.
Well, if they can hold on, it would really be a nice positive to take into that break.
Tap to the third baseman, but foul. 2-2. Well, most of the players, of course, will head for some R&R time. Just get away from baseball for a while. Especially in a season like this. They don't want to think about baseball for the next 3 days. Just get that mental refresher. Fly ball to right. Dye coming in. 1 out. There's so much time to go, Bill, that if they come out for the second half in Detroit, focused, having won this series, as they have a chance to do with a win today, get on a roll. A lot of good things could happen in the second half, and they can leave the season on a positive note.
Yeah, they're kind of at the crossroads, Bill, about what to do with their team, and that can answer a lot of questions for them in the second half. I think getting Lima straightened out and seeing if he's going to return to his form could make a big difference in what they decide to do with their pitching staff. You leave Dotel in the bullpen. We saw some success with Octavio Dotel the other night. If he could continue out there and Billy Wagner come back healthy, that's not too bad a pitching staff for next year.
Nope. Strike call to Matt Mieske, the pinch hitter for Lima.
Those are all things you'll have to find out about in the second half. Lima plays a big part in that.
Lima leaves after 7 innings of 7-hit 4-run baseball, walking 3 and fanning 8. He gave up 3 home runs. Mieske's hitting 145. Strike call, and it's 1-2. Matt Mieske's had 62 at bats as a pinch hitter. He's 3 for 32, 2 runs batted in. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Craig Biggio on deck. The Astros leading it by 5, 9-4 here in the 7th inning. Jose Lima squarely in a position to become the first Astros starting pitcher other than Scott Ellerton to win a game since June 13th. Shane Reynolds' last win. Sanchez gets Mieske, 2 outs. Starting pitching has really been the hallmark of the good Astros clubs the last 3 years. And coming into this game, the Astros starters were 19-37 with an ERA of 5.65.
Yeah, it's tough. You have a lot of people calling for trades for Lima and this and that and the other, and the trouble with trading a guy who can give you 200 innings and who's coming off of 37 wins in the last 2 seasons, pitching is hard to get. And if indeed this is an aberration this season, then you'd hate to give him up. You'd like to ride it out and see if you can straighten him out, because Ellerton looks like he's coming all the way back. Ellerton, Reynolds, Chris Holt, and Lima's a nice pitching staff if Lima's all right.
Biggio lines it to left center. Quinn over to play it. Biggio's going to second, and the throw off line. He is out. Biggio is diving into the bag, and also the tag made by the diving player, and that is Jeff Rebele to get him. That's out number 3, and here it is.
Not a bad gamble here. They had to make Rebele had to make a great play is what it was. The throw was off target. Biggio thought he might have been able to sneak in there.
No runs a hit, nobody left. After 7, it's 9-4 Houston.
(9-4) Houston leads as we go to the top of the 8th. Here's your chance to tour the brand new home of the Astros, Enron Field. Guests will get a behind-the-scenes look at the new ballpark. You'll also be able to visit historic Union Station, the broadcasting booth, the press boxes, luxury suites, club level, and many other areas. For information on individual and group tours of Enron Field, call 713-259-TOUR.
Mark Valdez comes in to work the 8th inning. He's 1-2 with 2 saves and a 2.45 ERA for a guy with a good sinker, Bill.
Yeah, he's had up and down success. Remember, the Astros got him from Tampa Bay in exchange for Russ Johnson. He's been trying to battle back after arm surgery. And he's got a good sinker, keeps it down, works both sides of the plate.
Hit hard into left field on the first pitch from Valdez to Mike Sweeney. Sweeney's had a perfect day at the plate. That's his 2nd single. He has a homer and a walk.
I think they better check that scouting report on Sweeney again. It's not working.
Well, he is really swinging a bat against a lot of good pitching this year, and he's had a whale of a series to head into Atlanta with a lot of steam. That's 7 hits in this 3-game series for Sweeney. Jermaine Dye, the batter. He's been on twice today with a walk and a single. It's 5 straight times on base in the series for Sweeney, 4 today. Dye loops one for right field. That lands in front of Lance Berkman for a single.
Well, here we go.
First 2-man reach here in the 8th inning. Mark Quinn will be the batter. If he jerks one out of here, it's 9-7. Good day for Jose Lima. Now it's up to the bullpen and maybe some more offense. Spires, Bagwell, and Berkman due up in the bottom of the 8th inning. Quinn singled through the left side back in the 3rd inning. He bounced into a double play in the 5th.
I think Dotel's starting to loosen up down there. Yep.
Cardinals beat the Giants 8-7. Pat Henkin the winner. Tap to 3rd. Bill Spires in. Throws in off Bagwell's glove. Safe at first base. Bagwell couldn't quite snag it.
I think maybe the runner.
The official scorer has given Bagwell an error. Let's see it.
Well, I thought this throw was starting to go. I don't know. Did he just drop it? Or did it hit the back of the run? The glove hit the back of the runner at the same time.
Well, it's hard to tell. But Bagwell gets his 4th error of the year, and the bases are loaded with nobody out, and Joe Randa batting. He homered in the 2nd inning. He struck out twice since then. Ball 1 to Randa. Wonder if Jose Lima thinks that 2nd win is safe right now.
Nothing safe this season.
The Astros bullpen has 10 saves and 14 blown saves for the year. Not a save opportunity when Valdez came in. 1 ball and 1 strike. Ball wide of 3rd, fielded by Rich Dower, and it's 1-2. Valdez appeared in the Arizona series and then Friday night in this series. He took the loss last Wednesday night, giving up 3 runs in an inning and a 3rd. Came in with a 1-run lead and a man on in the 7th inning, and the Astros lost that one 12-9. Pitched an inning and 2/3, no runs Friday night. Lugo backhands, flips to 3rd, and gets the force out there with a runner scoring to make it a 9-5 ball game. But that is an excellent play by Lugo to get an out on a ball hit deep in the hole by Joe Randa.
Well, you got that right at this juncture of the game with a 9-4 lead. You're just trying to stay out of a big inning. You get an out if you can get it. Don't worry about that run scoring right now, but try to stay out of a big inning.
Randa gets an RBI, his 2nd of the day and 55th of the year. Greg's on the batter. He's 0 for 3. Ball 1 up. Pitcher's spot due up next for Kansas City, and a potential pinch hitter is on deck. Looks like David McCarty. He went to Sharpstown High School and Stanford University. That'll be his first appearance in the series if he comes to the plate. It's 2 balls, no strikes to Zahn. Valdez walked 3 in a game at San Francisco June 17th. Had a couple of walks in 2 of his last 4 outings. At times control becomes an issue for Mark. Runners at first and second here. A double play in order with 1 out. It's a good looking pitch, but it's 3-0.
Well, had he not been so down in the count, that might have prompted the hitter to swing at it. He's desperately in need of a ground ball right now.
Big pitch coming on 3 balls and no strikes for Mark Valdez. Now it's 3-1. Valdez just has the 1 career appearance against Kansas City on Friday night. Mark notched his 2nd save in St. Louis on the last road trip. That was last Sunday. 4-run lead now. Lugo goes to the bag behind the runner there. Mark Quinn back. Well, the Cardinals lead was down to 7 over Cincinnati before today, and they won it 8-7 over San Francisco with Henkin beating Hernandez. Dave Veers saved it.
Boy, good pitch. Zahn laid off.
Bases loaded on a walk to Zahn. Now it gets a little dicey for Larry Dierker. Bases loaded for the pinch hitter David McCarty.
He needs a strikeout here, Bill, and I think that's why Larry's coming out now. He's going to go to that bullpen, try to get his strikeout pitcher, Octavio Dotel.
Valdez gave up singles to Sweeney and Dye, then an error on Jeff Bagwell. Loaded the bases. Randa bounced into a force play with a run scoring. Now here's the talk at the mound. No move made yet by Larry Dierker, but he will go to the pen. So with the score 9-5 and Kansas City making this a much more interesting game, a .319 hitter, McCarty coming to the plate, will step out for this. Glove man, and that was the primary reason Kansas City reportedly obtained him, to back up Mike Sweeney at first base, provide some late inning defensive help. But he has hit better than in his career previously. He was in the minor leagues all last year at Toledo. Dotel misses. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. McCarty, a first-round pick in 1991. He was born in Houston. It's a chance for him to come back, hitting .500 in July with a homer and 5 runs batted in, and get a big hit off the bench. His homer on July 4th was his first long ball since May 31st. Fly ball to right. Runners tag. Berkman for the catch. That's out number 2. And run number 6 comes home on the sacrifice fly, scoring Quinn. McCarty off the bench with an RBI to make it now a 3-run lead, 9-6.
Dotel gets the fly ball and a good throw in by Berkman to keep the runner at second base.
Jeff Rebele will be the batter. Kansas City getting another pitcher ready. Ricky Batalico. Doug Bochler worked 2 innings. Dotel throws strike 1 on the outside corner to Rebele. Jeff lined out to shortstop in the 7th inning. And a nice play diving to tag Craig Biggio to end the 7th on an attempted double. Bochler worked 2 innings and he allowed 2 hits and no runs. He walked 2, 1 of those intentional, and struck out 2. Dotel with a shot at his first save. After beginning the year in the starting rotation, he had 1 outing in relief back in April. This is his 3rd of the year. Fly ball left center. Alou breaking in on it for the grab, and Dotel does a marvelous job here.
Yes, he does.
Bases loaded, 1 out, only 1 run scores in the inning. 2 runs come home on 2 hits with an error and 2 men stranded. The Astros lead it 9-6.
Here's today's 8th inning game summary, and it's brought to you by Gatorade. Kansas City, 4 of the 6 runs have come on home runs. Run scored in 6 of the 7 innings for Houston. And the 2 through 5 hitters in the lineup for the Astros red hot today. 8 for 12, 7 RBIs, 6 runs scored. And Lance Berkman with a big bat, a couple of home runs and 4 RBI today. But this is what Jose Lima needed back in the 5th inning. He got an inning-ending double play, got him out of a jam, and he was perfect in the 6th and the 7th. And now he stands a chance to break that 13-game losing streak.
With a 9-6 lead with help from Octavio Dotel getting those 2 outs to end the 8th inning. The Astros now look for more in the bottom of the 8th against Ricky Bottalico, the veteran right-hander. Bottalico comes in for the first time in this series. He's been a closer, and this year has had some closing opportunities. The Royals sort of rotating their relievers in the late innings. Ricky, a 30-year-old veteran, last year was with St. Louis. He's 7-2 with 5 saves and a 4.79 ERA. He struck out 36 and 41 in the 3rd innings. Bill Spires is the batter. He's had a perfect game at the plate. He's reached all 4 times with a walk, 2 doubles, and a triple. He has driven in a run and scored 2. It's ball 1 to Spires. Bottalico had a very good year last year against the Astros with an ERA of 0 in 5 games, 6 1/3 scoreless innings, and 3 saves for St. Louis. He had 20 saves last year in 28 tries. He was the Royals pitcher of the month for June. Spires in the air. Johnny Damon over into right center field. And for the first time today, Bill Spires has made an out in this game. Well, the Astros putting a lot more thunder at the top of their order today than in a normal game here in the year 2000. Bottalico gets the first man, and Jeff Bagwell faces him here. Jeff has a hit and a walk today, also a sacrifice fly and a run scored. He needs 1 more run scored to reach 1,000 for his career. Strike 1 from Bottalico. Bottalico heated it up in June with a 3-0 record, 1 save in 9 games and a 2.08 ERA to be the Royals pitcher of the month. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Go ahead, Bill.
He had a stretch of 12 1/3 scoreless innings during the month of June. 2-1.
Just had terrific stuff, though, didn't he? When he was an All-Star in 1996 in the National League, and then he had that elbow surgery in 1997. He never quite come all the way back. But he had some terrific stuff.
Backhanded by Randa. He gets Bagwell, 2 outs.
You know, you're never sure if Randa's going to get it over there to first base. It's got a couple of humps in it, but he makes the play, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Sure-handed. And of course, you got the reason we have so many highlights of Randa during the course of this series is Murphy Brown's favorite player.
That's right. And it's his last chance this season. Lance Berkman has 2 opposite field home runs and 4 runs batted in for Lance. What a day. 2 for 4. That's one of 5 multi-home run games an Astro has had this year. 5 different players have done it. He rolls it to first. Mike Sweeney tosses. Bottalico is there, and that's a 1-2-3-8 for Bottalico and the Royals. We go to the 9th inning, and it's 9-6 Astros.
Houston Astros baseball on Fox Sports Net is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Log on for low fares at www.southwest.com, a symbol of e-freedom. And by Sonic, America's drive-in, sponsor of the Sonic Slam inning.
The Astros lead at 9-6. Octavio Dotel works the 9th inning. Johnny Damon leads it off. And there's ball 1 to Damon, who has walked and homered today. 39,402 the paid attendance. Watching the Astros trying to win a home series for the first time since late May against the Braves. Dotel is at 1-1 in the count. Dotel got McCarty on a sacrifice fly and Rebele on another fly ball with the bases loaded to end the 8th inning. And now he tries for his first major league save. Dotel had 1 save in the minors. There's a strike. 1 ball and 2 strikes. The last time out, he was not in a save situation, but he pitched well. 1 hitless inning against Arizona with the Astros trailing 2-1 in the 9th inning. That was Thursday.
Boy,
strikeout of Damon.
Boy, I really like what they're doing here with Dotel, bringing him out of the bullpen. I want to remind you again, 11 p.m. the Regional Sports Report. 30 minutes of your local news that really means something to you in your area. The 11 p.m. Regional Sports Report, Southwest Edition tonight, only on Fox Sports Net.
Ray Sanchez faces Dotel. He's 1 for 4. That's ball 1.
He looks like to me that he has a little better command coming out of the bullpen. I don't know if that's possible, but control was one of the things they were worried about. They were also worried if he could get warmed up quick enough, being a starter all this time, but that doesn't seem to be a problem. He's coming out of that bullpen throwing hard.
Sanchez fouls it.
And how often can he throw every week? You know, being a starter and not throwing every day, how often can they use him? These are all questions that they will find out in the second half of the season.
Well, as a clue to you as to what he thinks his job is now, he's headed for the Dominican Republic after this game for a little R&R over the All-Star break. He's taking his equipment with him, and he has a pitching mound right outside his yard. He'll be throwing from that on Tuesday just to keep his arm loose. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
If this experiment pays off and he likes it well enough, it's going to really give that man there fewer headaches in the second half of the season, because you've got a real quality arm coming out of that pen who can shut him down.
Mike Sweeney's on deck with Sanchez batting. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Billy Wagner has made the point in the past, when he was moved into that closer's role, he felt a lot better about facing hitters late in a game than when he was starting. Because he said, when we have the lead, the hitters feel they have to swing the bats to catch up. Fouled away, and that means they'll go for a lot of pitches that are not necessarily strikes.
I know a lot of starters who went to the bullpen unhappy, and after a while really took to the role, really enjoyed it. You're the man all of a sudden. And you just don't know how important that is. That was a real shock when Billy was having troubles with his arm and blowing those saves. That got the Astros going downhill, I think, more than anything else. The inability to protect leads. It affects the confidence of everybody on the team.
It certainly affects the closer, because he bears a lot of pressure to close the deal.
Let's say, for instance, Dotel takes to this nicely and Billy comes back ready to go in spring training. Now Larry Dierker really has a 1-2 punch in the bullpen, and they can really concentrate on getting their starting rotation ironed out.
3 balls and 2 strikes.
It's all speculation. We'll have to see if it works. It may not.
Billy Wagner has 6 saves. Mark Valdez has 2. Joe Slusarski 1. And Doug Henry 1. Those are the Astros' 10 saves for the year. Still 3 balls and 2 strikes. Dotel trying to become the 5th different Houston pitcher to save a game this year, and he probably will get the bulk of the opportunities after the All-Star break, the way it looks right now. With Wade Miller having a very successful start in the rotation last night. Tony Muser's club trying to avoid loss number 45 and losing a weekend series here in Houston. Bounce to the right side. Bagwell spears it. Tough play. Octavio Dotel gets him.
Man, not only was it a tough play, but Bagwell had to make an unbelievable throw, and then a great job by Dotel of covering first. Now, these are 2 great athletes doing this. Look at this throw, and look at the catch behind him. And that reaction by Dotel, he's saying, yes, indeed. Wow, what a play.
That is a play made by very few right-handed first basemen in the major league, if any.
And And you have to be a pretty good athlete to catch that ball behind you, too, and still touch first.
2 outs now. Mike Sweeney's the batter. He's been on base all 4 times. 2 singles, a walk, and a 2-run homer for Sweeney. Fans are standing here at Enron Field. Cleveland beat Cincinnati 5-3. Bartolo Colon won that game. He's 9-5. Scott Williamson was the starter and loser for the Reds. He's 2-6. Steve Karsay got a 17th save.
Well, you get this guy out, you'll really prove something. We haven't gotten him out very often in this series.
Nope. He's been on base 5 times in a row in this series. And he's now hitting .358, headed for the All-Star game. Fouls it back, and it's 1-1 for Dotel. Toronto blasted Montreal 13-3. Frank Castillo beating Dustin Hermanson.
He has a vested interest in the outcome of Dotel's save opportunity.
Ah, yes. Baltimore over Philly 5-4. Mills beat Bradley. Dotel moves him back. It's 2 balls and a strike. Mike Timlin got the save for the Orioles. Minnesota over Pittsburgh 3-2. Mark Redmond the winner over Jose Silva. But Troy Hawkins saved it. Two and 1. Foul back. 2 balls and 2 strikes as Dotel tries to end it right here by getting 5 straight.
Well, he's got some giddy up on that high fastball.
Here's Milwaukee 10, Detroit 3. Jason Beret beat Willie Blair. This is a nice reaction at Enron Field. The Astros just 14-28 in this ballpark.
These fans haven't had a chance to do this in a long time.
And they have stayed through an afternoon with plenty of offense. Line drive into center for a hit. Mike Sweeney is truly an all-star.
He gets my vote. Man, 6 straight times he's been on base.
Sweeney has just been ripping balls all over Enron Field this weekend.
What a player.
That's a 4-hit game for Sweeney. 8 hits in this 3-game series.
Wow.
Jermaine Dye follows him. Dye is 2 for 3 with a walk. Ball 1 from Dotel. Houston hit 3 homers today for Milwaukee, giving him 9 for the year.
Tyler Houston.
Yeah. 2 balls and no strikes. Joe Garner and Bobby Higginson thrown out of that game. The Astros will see them on Thursday night in Detroit. Cubs beat the White Sox 9-6. Kevin Tapani the winner over Bill Seamus. And Todd Worrell saved it. Sammy Sosa hit another one, his 23rd of the year. Henry Rodriguez hit number 17.
Huh? Yeah, Tim.
Tim Worrell saved it. Yeah. Todd Worrell's long retired, isn't he?
He made a little comeback there.
2 balls and a strike. The Astros trying for win number 30. It's been a long time in coming. Fouled away. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Jermaine Dye, who also has been a very tough out this weekend.
You can see why Sweeney and Dye are headed for Atlanta.
This Kansas City team hitting .279 with 10 hits today. After 13 hits last night by the Royals. Jose Lima, though, on the line for win number 2. And it's 3-2. He holds the club record. Losing streak at 13. Dotel wants to help him put it at an end. And get his first win at Enron Field. He was 0-7 with a 7.77 ERA at home. The runner goes. It's ball 4.
Oh, boy.
And now the potential tying run comes to the plate in Mark Quinn.
In this season, Bill, nothing is easy. The tying run comes to the plate with 2 outs in the ninth.
Look at Bert Hooten slumping back in that chair.
Bert Hooten's looking up at the ceiling going, what have I gotten myself into here?
Well, Dotel is certainly new to closing, and that's a big part of what he's going through right now. Mark Quinn is 1 for 4. He reached on an error as well in the 8th inning. He could tie it with a home run. And the slider's ball 1 to Quinn.
Well, this is part of it, is finding out how he handles this type of late inning pressure. I think Bert Hooten probably figures, I'll take a walk out to the mound to relax my nerves as well as his.
And Dotel came in with the bases loaded in the 8th inning. Gave up a sacrifice fly to McCarty. Got the next man, Reveille. Got the first 2 in the 9th inning. And now problems. A single and a walk. Now 1-0 count on the hitter, Quinn.
But you knew it wasn't going to be easy, didn't you? I mean,
you're so right about that this year.
Has there been an easy win this season? Not too many.
Not in recent memory. Not from a club with 27 losses in the last 36 games. Scott Ellerton has been the only starter to win in the last 15. He's won all 4 of those. 1-0 to Quinn. Oh, he had a good cut.
Yes, he did. Here's a former Rice Owl that would like to spoil the party.
1 ball and 1 strike. He changed his stance at 98 at Wichita. He had an open stance. He went to more of a straightaway stance and won the batting title there at 349. Hit 360 last year at Omaha. Way upstairs. 2-1. 24-year-old Octavio Dotel changing roles early in his career. Last year he was 8-3 with the Mets with 14 starts, 5 relief appearances. Now it's 3-1. And Joe Randa's on deck. The last out of a ball game. There's a lot of pressure. Pressure from the pitcher who could be the winner. Trying to protect it for him. On a fastball, it goes to 3-2.
And what's so tough is you can't do anything in the dugout. The fans are up on their feet. They want it desperately. Lima, Durker, everybody in the Astros dugout wants it desperately, but getting it done, something else altogether. Well, Dotel could take the pressure off right here.
Runners go.
Yeah.
Strike 3. Dotel gets his first save, and Lima snaps a 13-game losing streak. The Astros win a home series for the first time since May 26th through the 28th against Atlanta, and Lance Berkman hits 2 homers and drives in 4. The Astros win it 9-6. Lima 2-13 beats Watazik. He's 2-8. Dotel with save number 1. They enjoy the finale of a 2-4 homestand, and we'll be right back.